Our next guest is a smash hit singer-songwriter, a piano man whose cover of Piano Man on this show, along with The River we just heard, still sends shivers down our virgin spines. His latest single, Monster V.2, is out now, and here to tell us all about it, it's the tip-top terrific Tom Odell.
All right, Tom.
Hello, Bastos, hello, Chris. Great to hear your voices.
Oh, great to hear you, and well done. Just well done generally. Again, the fourth album. We were sent a sampler last night of the forthcoming album. I know we're not allowed to play anything, but first of all, can I tell you that Lose You Again had me and my wife in tears, in bits last night. What a tune. What a tune.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We're not talking about that one now. And Me and My Friends is the summer smash of 2021. I don't know if you wrote it to be that, but that's what it is.
You should tell my record label that. They'd love to hear that.
Okay, does that mean that you want it to be a summer single and they're not sure? Was that the code there?
I don't know at the moment. I don't know. We're not quite sure what's going to come out next. But I'm very pleased you love Lose You Again.
Oh, mate! And it is a different album from the last three. I mean, they're Tom Odell, so they have a Tom Odell sound. But you've done something differently this time around. What might that be?
Well, I recorded most of it at the end of my garden.
Right.
So, I planned to get the band in, and was all set up, and then the pandemic hit, and we're sort of forced to use much less instrumentation, and the instrumentation I could get hold of in my garden, and I've got a little shed at the back of it. But yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm super proud of it. It's a mammoth task. I mean, it's like 16 tracks, this album. I wrote it over 2 years. And it's different, and it's I'm incredibly proud of it. But it's like I feel like, I don't know what to say about it at the moment. But I feel good about it. So it's great. But it's great to be back on the show. I've missed you guys a lot. I feel it's really interesting. Just listening down the phone, listening to those two songs, and like it's so mad to listen back to like doing recordings before, but like they're so good, those two recordings, those live recordings. It's weird doing this job. I don't ever sort of give myself a pat on the back, and I'm not giving myself a sort of narcissistic like, oh, wasn't that great? But it was just so nice to listen to them, because I was like, hey, we're good. And it was probably some morning at 7 o'clock in the morning we recorded those, and I was like, I don't often just tell myself, oh, that was quite a good performance. So anyway, I don't know why I'm congratulating myself.
No, but I get it, and it's not dissimilar to when, in my career, when you've done a TV show and you're in the thick of it, and then it's a couple of years later you realise how much fun you were having and how good a job the team was doing. And because of the pandemic, people who are mid-career, as yourself, who are in flow, you have this sort of temporary distance, if you like, to make those reflections, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and I think it's very healthy, Tom.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's weird. I was talking to a mate of mine recently, similar job to mine, and we were saying not complaining, but the sad thing about being a musician right now is like all the good bits has been taken away.
Yeah.
All the reasons we got into this is to really, I think most of us, was to play live in front of an audience, and that thrill of doing that, keeps you going. It's the fuel we're all running on. So when those early mornings or those radio interviews or that time when your manager calls you up and says we didn't get the thing we wanted, it doesn't matter because you're out there with the crowd, and that's fueling you on, and it's mad, like that being removed, it becomes a very different job. Incredibly different. I feel like more of a sort of businessman at the moment.
Yeah, I get it. And it's like, when you go out and you play, especially you performers like you don't perform. You something else happens. You sort of, you are sort of, what would you call it in a garden when you get repotted to wherever the venue is, and your roots start to go deep down very quickly, and you become part of wherever you are, and you draw everybody else into that, and then from those, if you're the tree, you then get this sort of super juice from the crowd, and they fuel you up, don't they, for the next 3 or 4 months, and you can't,
beautiful.
You can't get that anywhere else, can you, Tom?
No, I mean, yeah, look, ultimately it's probably just been a bit of a show-off, isn't it? But like, I love it. I know you love it as well. I see you at Carfest. It's like, it's what life's all about. It's shared experience. And it's just putting records out. It's not the same.
No, it's not the same. It's so cool. And the video for, we don't know how to say it, Monster V.2. How do you say it?
I don't know. I mean, it was probably a mistake, like doing these two versions. It's just Monster. I mean, the song's called Monster.
Right.
The album's called Monsters.
Got it.
And this version's called Monster V2 because there was a Monster V1 which was basically just like stripped back.
All right.
It was just, and it's what I put out first. But yeah.
So is this a result of you asking your fans for how they're feeling at the time? Because I know the video features lots of your fans.
So I wrote this song, right? I get pretty bad anxiety, and I've suffered from anxiety for years. And I wrote this song about trying to overcome these panic attacks.
Right.
I was getting panic attacks. They were getting worse and worse and worse, and it got to a point where I was like, every time I step in the studio, my heart would start racing, and I'd get this panic attack, and it was getting like bad. And I wrote this song, Monsters, about trying to relearn myself, reteach myself how to live without having them. And it was about trying to tell myself that this fear I was feeling was irrational. Like when, I'm sure whether you've dealt with panic attacks, or I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of people listening that have had them, but everything in your body is telling you to run.
Yeah.
It's just saying run. The fear, it's anguish just flowing through you. And part of the way I was told to try and get over them was to just convince you have to be rational and tell yourself this is not real. So this is what this song is. And I actually, without, it sounds like exaggerating over the top, but this song was really the song that sort of massively helped me get over them.
Good for you.
So that's where it started. Anyway, then I asked my fans, I said, what does the word monster mean to you? And we got sent in thousands of videos. I put this email address up, and we were getting like an email every 10 seconds was like a video of what the word monster meant to them. Incredible, like snapshot of around the world, like what people's demons are.
Yeah.
Whether it be like, they're some leader, like right-wing leader in their country, or whether it be they're dealing with bulimia, or it's how they see themselves in the mirror. They see this monster looking back at them. I mean, we just got every response you can imagine they sent in, and it created this video that was just mental. And you know what? Going back to that conversation about having a connection with your audience, it was so exciting and exhilarating for me to have a connection with my audience again through making this video. And I edited it and spent a few days like just going through all this footage, and it's really amazing experience. So even if you hate my music, check it out. Check out the video.
Nobody hates your music, for heaven's sake. You're a genius. And they do say, don't they, a problem shared is a problem halved, but if it's shared by half of the world, then it's close to being annihilated.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's lots of tears, and there's genuine tears, from your fans. And I'm sure they've all given their permission to be on the video, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant because as long as when you know that people are feeling the same and you're not on your own, then it's not job done, but you're pretty much halfway there, I would say, to fixing whatever it is that might be broken.
I couldn't agree more. And I've been super liberated on this album campaign by talking about this stuff that I used to think was indulgent.
Yeah.
I was brought up, I think, by two wonderful parents who quite rightly brought me up to maybe always think that someone's suffering more than you, so maybe don't go on about it. But actually, I've sort of like had this great liberation, actually just talking about how I feel as honestly as possible, because I've realised that if I can just help one person that is also feeling or suffering from anxiety, then, it's so powerful that. And I don't know, I always feel as well, I've been doing this job now for 8 or 9 years, nothing compared to your career, but it's beginning to mount up some years and some time on the clock. And I'm I feel like I've always been honest all the way through it. And now I've got this public duty to sort of always be honest with everything I do going forward. And I feel like I found a great sort of role in that and a power in that. So I feel good about that.
I love that. And, in your stage performances, and as a live performer, I've always said this about you, don't listen because you get embarrassed. There's nobody better in the world to watch live than Tom Odell. But within that, there's a vulnerability and there's an anguish, and that's why I find you so compelling as a performer, because what happens to you on stage comes from deep within, and there is an absolute truth there. It hasn't been articulated like you're articulating it now, but it was on show and it was evident. So you've always been honest and you've always been truthful, not just perhaps in the English language, and that's why I find you. I think you're amazing, Tom.
Oh, that's so sweet, Chris. That's really deeply, very touching. It means a lot to me.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I didn't mean it. Just trying to sound nice. No, of course I meant it. Tom, I love you to death. Please tell me when I can play something that you sent me that you asked me not to play last night without getting thrown in jail, because the second I can, I will. I'm desperate to play Lose You again to the great British public. I can't wait to play Me and My Friends again. Please come on the show and play all these songs, play the whole album. I don't care.
Oh, I'd love to.
Whenever you want to do it, you can.
Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe are we allowed to in May or June? Can I come in the studio and play?
The second you can do it, i.e.
Yeah.
the second you are allowed to do it, just come and do it. That's it. We'll find out. We'll find out when that is, and give my love to your dad. How's he doing, the old fella?
Yeah, he's great. I'm sure he'll be listening. So sending love to him.
All right, Tom. Have a fantastic Friday. Well done. Lots of love to all your fans. Check out the video for what we're going to play now on the radio. See you later.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye bye. You're very welcome.
Big love to you. Bye bye.
Lots of love. Tom Odell and Monster, but you got to check out the video. Check out the video now.